Good afternoon and welcome to Fridays at 5. This week is a wonderful week for me to talk about the huge wins of the California Rifle Pistol Association on your behalf. Most of the time we come here with that draconian news from Sacramento of all the things going wrong against your rights, but this isn't that kind of week. This has been a fantastic week because we didn't have just one win, not just 2 wins, but 3 different wins for you. So I'm going to do my best to break those down as quickly as possible. The first win happens to be in San Diego County, where land was erroneously closed down by the Board of Supervisors. Now, we've talked about this in previous editions of Fridays at 5, but this is what it means. We can't always let the initial win be the only thing that's happening, because that's like winning a battle but still losing the war. Because the left-leaning politicians still want to find every way they can to close it down. So what did the California Rifle Pistol Association do? We didn't sit on our laurels with that first win. We went all the way to the White House. Yes, literally the White House. And started coming back down the chain through the Department of Interior to the Bureau of Land Management. In doing so, we were able to obtain 3 separate distinct letters. One to the San Diego County Board of Supervisors. One to the law enforcement agency ran by San Diego County Sheriff Gore, telling him that his officers cannot enforce the erroneous policies set forward by that Board of Supervisors. And the final letter went to the San Diego County Legal Counsel's office, advising him of how they had broken the Constitution of the United States. Thus, we worked from both the bottom up and from the top down to ensure your rights. And that's what we do here every day at the California Rifle Pistol Association. Now, that in and of itself would be a reason of why you would want to join us, why you would want to donate to see more of these wins up and down the states. But like I said, that was just win number 1. Win number 2, Duncan v. Becerra. Everybody remembers when Prop 63 came in under then Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom, now Governor Newsom, which one of the components of that legislation and that referendum voted into law was that you could no longer have a magazine carrying more than 10 rounds. Now, to the common everyday person, that seems to make sense until you watch any of dozens of videos taken from home cameras of home invasion robberies. You're down in your bedroom at 2 a.m. in the morning, and maybe you happen to have a firearm somewhere readily available, but that would only have 10 rounds. The average home invasion robbery has 4 to 6 people. And assuming that criminals are following the law, which is almost a joke, each of them would be carrying a firearm, which means you would have 40 to 60 rounds against you. Who likes being outnumbered 4 to 6 to 1? Nobody. This is one of the reasons that this simple idea of a high-capacity magazine being villainized isn't right. And you know what? Judge Benitez in the San Diego courts agreed with us. In his stunning 80-plus page decision on Duncan v. Becerra, he pointed out the home invasion robbery issue and how actual people, real live people with emotions, with children, have had to face those situations and how not having the ability to defend themselves costs lives. This is why this decision is so important. It also sets up a framework that we can't just have government go in and confiscate stuff that is a part of your Second Amendment rights. Now, everybody has been calling us since the decision last Friday of, what does that mean for me? Can I go buy high-capacity magazines? Can I do this? Can I do that? Slow down. If you think Governor Newsom and Attorney General Becerra are going to stand by the wayside and let this happen, they're not. They are going to press very quickly for a stay, which is going to force this to go to the Ninth Circuit, which eventually will probably lead to a Supreme Court decision. We are confident. And you could say, oh no, you mean we didn't really win? No, we're winning, and we're going to continue to win. But let me explain why reason number 3, you're so happy with the California Rifle Pistol Association. We, along with the NRA and other state associations, fought very hard in this last election for the Supreme Court and the district courts. Now, whether you love or hate or are indifferent about our current national administration, something that you need to realize, having that administration versus the Hillary Clinton administration is significant when it comes to the courts, especially the Ninth Circuit that overlooks not just California, but Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Arizona, Hawaii, Montana, etc. That court has been significantly looked at as being very, very minor in coming forward with anything pro 2A. That court has been to the liberal left, mostly Democrats, justices on it. But in just a few short months, what has happened is we now have a court that's almost 50% conservative. That's right, almost half the judges are our kind of judges. They're going to look at the Constitution and judge it accordingly when it comes to the Second Amendment. That means that now when we have that 3-judge panel, it's not going to be 3 Democrats. It could very easily be 2 Republicans and a Democrat. But more importantly, we know from the Peruta case that what happened in that was they first forced a en banc review, which is 11-judge panel, which flipped the Peruta win over to a not win. But now, with the newest appointments of Justices Lee and Justice Collins, those will now make it so that we will have a court that would be very hard to have a slanted en banc review. This furthers our chances here at the local level of not having to wait for a Supreme Court decision to have the law of the region. Now, obviously, some may still decide to push it to the Supreme Court, but that court is also evenly balanced now. In fact, some would say it's balanced in our favor. So this is all good news. These are 3 significant wins. This is changing the fighting grounds for your rights. But those rights don't come cheaply. Those rights require people like you to act. How do you act? One is by joining us. Think about it. It's $35 a year to have us fighting for your rights. That's less than 6 of these cups of coffee from a Starbucks. Now, if your rights and the rights of your family aren't worth 6 cups of Starbucks, a couple of 6-packs, going out to dinner with a significant other, which is hard to do for under $40, then you have other issues that you need to examine. Further, you can donate. Donating to us allows you that if you don't want to be a member, you can still donate to these causes. And finally, we even have opportunities throughout the state to engage us. One of those is coming up on April 13th at our Crawfish Boil, where you can come out to Norco, California at Rahagas Sheen Sports Enterprises and have a day of flying in helicopters, driving 4-wheel drive, and bringing your family and neighbors out either to shoot for the umpteenth time or that first time. And all with the joy of wonderful Cajun food, taco bars, etc. They'll be able to see all sorts of different shooting demonstrations. It are these moments that we get to show the public that we are just like them. In fact, we work with them all the time. And we need your support at those events. And speaking of support, we want to look at one of our business affiliates this week. So we go out to Heather with Rifle Supply in Huntington Beach, California.
Hey everybody, I am here at Rifle Supply with Justin, the manager here in Huntington Beach in Orange County. Thank you so much for having us here today. Really appreciate it. Can you tell us a little bit about Rifle Supply?
Yeah, for sure. So we're a gun and accessory supply store. So we gunsmith, we Cerakote, we laser engrave. Everything is done in-house. It was a shop that was built. The 3 main people here, there's 4 of us. We all grew up in Huntington. We all went to Ocean View. My father actually taught at Ocean View for 30 years. So we didn't go very far. We just kind of came down the block and started our business.
And what year did it open?
We've been open about 2.5 years. So
okay.
Yeah, I believe October of 2016.
So every time I come in, it's so busy.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are very welcoming here, which is amazing. And you guys will be at the Costa Mesa gun show.
This weekend, right? If you walk in and you just look right, we'll have all of our tents. I think we have like 7 tables and a bunch of booths and everything like that. Yep.
I know sales are good for you.
They are. We're doing very well.
Do you think it has anything to do with the war on, and I'm quoting this right now, scary black assault military style weapons of war?
Weapons of war. People get scared and they start to just go out and buy ammo and things like that, which is fine. I don't know if it has anything exactly to do with it, but it's definitely not hurting business. We're just big proponents of just upholding our Second Amendment rights and having nothing taken away, because when you disarm a community, it just allows so many other things to happen. So we don't have to push for any certain things, but just keeping what we have, I think, is very important.
Do you ever have families come in here?
All the time.
All the time?
Yeah, lots of women too, because we make it a point to make everybody feel very comfortable. in the shop, and so we do have a lot of women that come in by themselves to buy guns, to buy first guns. You know, it's not a shop where it's just for tactical people. It's not just for operators or people training. It's for everyday people that want to get into shooting and want a first gun and want to learn something. And you can sit and hang out, and people spend hours in here just listening and gathering information.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I read it's 61.4% of new gun owners are women, so that's good to hear. Do you ever
Absolutely.
have men come in and they like are hiding it from their wives?
All the time.
Really?
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we take cash, so no problem. Anybody wants to bring cash, that's not a problem. But we do a lot with the Women's Shooters League too, Christina, and a lot of different people. So I think it's big that the women get a little bit more into it. It makes it easier for the guys in the long run too, because if the women are into it, then they don't have to hide so much.
And they shoot around here?
Yeah. So our main range for us personally for pistol is going to be firing line right up the street. We've all been going there almost 20 years probably. FT3, the guys at FT3 are really good friends of ours also. Mike Hernandez and Bob over there, and Pete at Evans is a really good range too. So those are our three main local ones.
Good.
Indoor.
So seems
Indoor
like a
rangers.
good group of local gun guys.
Totally,
So that's good.
totally.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for having
Absolutely.
us here.
Yes.
And I'm definitely gonna take a look around.
Yes.
Maybe buy a gun or two.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. And thank you for joining us this week on Fries at 5. As always, you can go to any of our social media links down below and engage with us. And remember, first and foremost, be safe, shoot straight, and fight back for your rights.